So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. If you can hear me, if the audio is clear, please type a message in the comment section. Okay, I've got some messages. So, good afternoon, Sia. This is the session for weekly current affairs of geography, science and technology, and environment. I'm Surbhi Sardana, and today is Wednesday. I'll be taking this session with all of you. So the index for today, हम आज कौन से topics करने वाले हैं? These are the 5 broad topics that we will be seeing today. The first is about Engineers Day that is celebrated every year on 15 September in the memory of Sir M. Visvesvaraya. The second is Seed Treaty. The third is Trees Outside Forest in India Initiative or TOFI initiative. It has been in news recently. The fourth one is Project Cheetah and the fifth one is Karakal. Also, this initiative runs in coordination with our website और हमारा एक initiative चलता है Seize the Mains Answer Writing, daily answer writing. A lot of questions and mains have been seen from this initiative itself, which we have been running since February of 2022. So, let's look at the question here. Since Engineers Day was celebrated, so आपका एक mains का topic है with regards to contributions of Indians in science. So, let's take the contribution of person of in memory of whom Engineers Day is celebrated. Discuss the contributions of Sir M. Visvesvaraya in nation's development. Answer in 150 words. So we will be discussing this topic today. We will be discussing his contributions to nation building of India and of other countries. तो आपके लिए ये question answer करना बहुत simple हो जाना चाहिए. Answer it on our website. Our website is rajisacademy.com. आप अपने answers post कर सकते हैं in the comment section of this particular question. We eagerly wait for your answers. So this is a portrait of Sir M. Visvesvaraya. He was given knighthood, and that's why the title of Sir is put behind his name. So he was an engineer by profession. एक बहुत ही अच्छे engineer थे अपने time के. During his times, the problem of water was a problem. Water was an issue. Basically, whatever dams were available in southern India, Mysuru में, Hyderabad में, those dams they used to have very less water in times of summer seasons में उनमें बहुत कम पानी होता था, and in monsoon seasons as the gates were opened they used to cause floods. So he came up with the idea of steel doors या block system इन्होंने develop किया था to give proper irrigation facilities to all areas of a particular city, Hyderabad and Mysuru especially, and he also invented the steel doors for dams. So as you can see, this is one of the quotes that has been given by him. You can use this in your mains or essay answers, that to give real service, you must add something which cannot be bought or measured with money. Indeed, after his experimental observations and जो भी इन्होंने innovations provide की थी, water irrigation में especially, after that the contributions that he made cannot be evaluated or measured with money. So he is credited for his notable contributions towards society, namely construction projects, obviously automatic weir gates and drainage systems. इरिगेशन सिस्टम पर ब्रिटिशर्स ने काफ़ी हद तक काम नहीं किया था. द कंट्री वॉज प्राइमरीली डिपेंडेंट अपॉन एग्रीकल्चर बिफोर इंडिपेंडेंस ऑल्सो, बट इरिगेशन दैट इज़ द मेन सोर्स. irrigation through canals, irrigation through pipelines, that should be provided for better agriculture in any country. So this irrigation system was not worked upon. That's why famines बहुत आते थे. Before independence, there were a lot of famines that were seen by our nation as a whole. So he was the pioneer who worked towards providing irrigation facilities to all parts of areas where he was working, and he was the chief engineer of some of the dams. One of them was Krishnaraj Sagar Dam in the northwest suburb of Mysuru, Lakshmi Talab Dam near Kolhapur in southwest Maharashtra, and also served as chief engineer of the flood protection system. So इनके दो particular काम थे. By inventing the steel gates or developing the steel gates, he could prevent floods. Steel gates जो हम dams में लगाते थे, due to with that help floods could be prevented and droughts could be avoided. How could droughts be avoided? Because whatever water used to get wasted due to absence of good quality gates, that was now available in lean periods. Summer seasons में that water was available. Also block system for better irrigation facilities was also developed by him. Looking at all these contributions, he was also considered as the Diwan of Mysore from 1912 to 1918. Looking at all these contributions, the government of India gave him the Bharat Ratna award, which is the highest highest or most prestigious award of India. So it was given in the year 1995, and he was also awarded the British knighthood by King George V, and hence the title Sir is used behind his name, with his name, and that's why we celebrate Engineers Day every year in India in the memory of Sir M. Vishveshvaraya. The next topic is that India is about to host the 9th session of Seed Treaty from September 19. Now, what is this Seed Treaty? Seed Treaty is the short form for this International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resources for Food and Agriculture. Basically, we depend on agriculture as an economy also, not just for our economy but also for our dietary purposes. हमारे जो सारे dietary purposes अभी तक satisfy होते हैं वो agriculture से ही होते हैं. Science has not developed that much that we can survive without agriculture as of now. So what happens that, you know, farmers, they carry out a lot of cross breeding while they are practicing agriculture. तो अगर किसी farmer ने कुछ new types of seeds develop किए हैं, that information for developing those new types of seeds, there will be some benefits associated with that. Obviously, अगर कोई नया type और नया variety of seed आया है जो कि एक farmer ने अपनी मेहनत से cross breed करके develop किया है, then what happens, sometimes the yield is better. The new seed that the farmer has developed, the yield gets better. Sometimes that seed जो plant variety produce होती है उस seed से, that is drought resistant. So there can be many benefits that can come through the knowledge of a farmer, या कोई भी अगर plant breeder है उसकी indigenous knowledge से या अपनी capacity से आ सकती है. Now what happens that commercial companies try to patent some varieties of seeds or some varieties of plants. What we want as a country and as a world is that we have a concept of land to the tiller. Now this concept talks about giving protection to the person who has developed these types of plants or seeds. तो आपके जो farmers हैं उनको बहुत ज़्यादा protection provide की जाती है, उनको benefits provide किए जाते हैं. They are the ones who get the benefits. And there is a convention called CBD, Convention for Biological Diversity. If you go to the vision statement of CBD or Conventional for Biological Diversity, it clearly says कि जो भी benefits biological resources से countries को मिलेंगे, they will be shared amongst each other, and whosoever is developing this biological resource will be given adequate benefits for developing that biological resource, ताकि biological diversity बनी रहे, and as mankind, as humankind, we can progress towards better times. So this is the Seed Treaty that follows Convention for Biological Diversity. इसके हित में ये काम करता है, and this actually gives a recognition to rights of those farmers, those breeders who have developed such new varieties of seeds or plants. So now what India is doing, India again is a very much dependent on agriculture. So anything that benefits our farmers, India will be up for such kind of treaty. So India is going to host the 9th session of governing body of International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resources for Food and Agriculture. Not just seeds, there could be new breeding methods also here. The International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resources for Food and Agriculture is also known as Seed Treaty, and it was adopted in 2001 by Food and Agriculture Organization on the international level under the mandate of United Nations. This is the organization, Food and Agriculture Organization. This is the organization which works for the benefits of agriculture and people practicing agriculture. So अगर आपका कुछ pest infestation भी होता है, that will impact many countries in the world. It is the duty of Food and Agriculture Organization to, you know, come out with a statement, या आप कुछ emergency notice पर FAO की website पर आप देख सकते हैं if there is a pest infestation also happening. Anything with regards to development of food or agriculture practices in the world is seen by FAO. So what are the aims of this treaty? The broad aims I've told you already. मैंने आपको broad aims बता दिए हैं. What are the precise aims? आप अगर एक करके aims देखें, so what are the precise aims? First of all, recognizing the enormous contribution of farmers to the diversity of crops that feed the world. So first is about recognize the farmers for producing seeds or diversity of plants या food resources आप जो भी produce कर रहे हैं, breeding methods, whatever are there. So recognizing the enormous benefits of farmers. Second one is to establish a global system to provide farmers, plant breeders and scientists also to have access to all these genetic materials that are being produced by farmers. So genetic materials can be your seeds. Scientists can have access to a new kind of DNA or a kind of gene that has been introduced, and all the people, not just farmers, plant breeders, but also scientists should have access to it. तो आप एक pool of knowledge create कर लेंगे if you get into this agreement or if you sign this treaty, then a pool of knowledge will be created and many countries who are part of this can share that knowledge amongst each other, ensuring that recipients share benefits they derive from the use of these genetic materials with the countries where they have been originated. For example, अगर किसी सीड की क्रॉस ब्रीडिंग कैरी आउट की जाती है एंड दोज टू इनिशियल सीड्स, फॉर एग्जाम्पल दीज टू इनिशियल सीड्स वर कमिंग फ्रॉम इंडिया एंड नाउ these two seeds are sent to a country like Brazil, and the scientists in Brazil use these two seeds to produce a new type of variety of seed जो कि आपका ऐसा प्लांट जनरेट कर देता है जिसका yield बहुत ज़्यादा है, जो पेस्ट से इन्फेक्ट नहीं होता. So, इस जनरेशन से जो भी बेनिफिट्स आएंगे they will be shared with India also, not just with Brazil but they will be shared with India also. So, जो आपका originating source है that will also have benefits in it. The treaty came into force in 2004 and has been ratified by 149 countries including India. So 149 countries have ratified it. We have around 195 nations. India has also ratified it because we want to move together for the benefit of mankind. हमें जो भी benefits मिल रहे हैं genetic biodiversity, genetic variations and biodiversity से, we want to avail full use of them. Now you have this third news that was there, but before that let me take the doubts. If there are any doubts with regards to this, let me know in the chat section. Thank you, Nationalist. Good afternoon. Parvez, history classes you can ask in the admin section. Bhupender, again you can talk to the admin section or text us on the phone number that is available with this video. Your doubt will be sorted. I think you'll have to log in on the Discuss platform, and if not Discuss platform, you'll have to log in through the Gmail ID. Only then it will be posted and it will stay there. Any other doubts with regards to the first two topics? Anybody? Alright, so we are running short of time. We'll move on to the next topic very quickly. The next topic is, alright Rohit, the next topic is trees outside forest in India. As you can see, this is a snapshot of the website. This initiative is called Trees Outside Forest in India. Now, as the name indicates, trees outside forest क्या होंगे? Trees outside forest would be those trees which do not come under forest area. Now, under the National Forest Policy, our target is to bring 33% of our country's area under forest cover, and we are moving ahead towards it. The forest cover in India is increasing with time. But what happens in big cities? In like summers, you have a lot of heat. Urban heat island effect होता है due to there is a lot of concrete. Footpaths आपके concrete के बने होते हैं, buildings आपकी cement की बनी होती है, and there is not a lot of material which can radiate the heat back as compared to forest areas. Forest areas में plants, they carry out respiration and photosynthesis. They absorb carbon dioxide, global warming reduce करते हैं, and they radiate back the heat also, reflect back the heat. But in urban areas there is no such method available, due to which a lot of heat trapping occurs. आपकी जो buildings, roads, footpaths, जो भी concrete या cement से बनी चीज़ें हैं, steel also for that matter, and the vehicles also that we have, वो बहुत ज़्यादा heat absorb करते हैं. That's why if you go from a rural area to urban area, अगर आप अपने व्हीकल पे मूव कर रहे हैं, यू विल सी द डिफरेंस इन टेम्परेचर्स. रूरल एरिया में या सिटी के आउटस्कर्ट्स में टेम्परेचर बहुत कम होगा एज कम्पेयर टू व्हाट हैपन्स इन अर्बन एरिया. सो दिस वी कॉल द अर्बन हीट आइलैंड इफेक्ट. सो दो आर फॉरेस्ट कवर इज इंक्रीजिंग, फॉरेस्ट कवर बढ़ रहा है, बट दैट इज मेजरली इंक्रीजिंग इन सम ऑफ द स्टेट्स. अगर सब स्टेट्स में बढ़ भी रहा है तो अर्बन एरियाज में नहीं बढ़ रहा. द फॉरेस्ट कवर इन अर्बन एरियाज इज नॉट इंक्रीजिंग. सो द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया recognize this fact that though our forest cover is increasing, but there are problems of global warming occurring all around the country. And what happens with global warming? अगर आपका जो summer days में, if you cannot survive in outside temperatures, if you cannot survive in the sun, then it is the poor people who suffer. Manual laborers, daily wagers who cannot afford air conditioners, who cannot afford air conditioned vehicles to go from one place to another, and who have to stand under the sun and work under that. आपके जो daily vendors होते हैं वो suffer करते हैं. And due to rising heat, rising global warming, these people die out of heat strokes. Heat waves चलती हैं especially in North India in summer seasons, and heat stroke से बहुत लोगों की डेथ्स होती हैं. एंड देर आर अ लॉट ऑफ डिजीजेज ऑल्सो दैट कम अप विद इट. बहुत सारे रेस्पिरेटरी डिसऑर्डर्स आते हैं, कार्डियोवास्कुलर डिसऑर्डर्स आते हैं. सो नाउ द एम ऑफ गवर्नमेंट इज टू हैव इंक्रीज इन नंबर ऑफ ट्रीज outside the forest areas also, ताकि जो global warming की problem है that can be tackled in areas where there are not a lot of trees, especially in your cities. This initiative is working both for your rural areas and cities. दोनों areas में काम करता है, but mostly it will focus on cities. So let's read about it. This is a snapshot from the website. So it will be a 5-year joint initiative by the United States Agency for International Development and Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change of Government of India. With the united force of 8 consortium partners led by these, the initiative is committed. Now this is the vision of this. The objective of initiative is to expanding the area under trees outside forest for the benefit of livelihoods and the ecosystem. तो अभी हम देखेंगे कि ये लाइवलीहुड्स को कैसे बेनिफिट करता है. सो इट हैज़ बीन स्टार्टेड बाय मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट, फॉरेस्ट एंड क्लाइमेट चेंज इन इंडिया एंड यूएसएड, यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स की एजेंसी है. वी कॉल इट यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स एजेंसी फॉर इंटरनेशनल डेवलपमेंट, यूएसएड. So basically United States of America is a rich country. We also as a developing country, हम India developing country हैं, but we give some grants या some donations to poorer countries because we have this big brother attitude towards countries in South Asia. So India also gives grants through various methods, mostly diplomatic meetings के बाद ये होता है. But USA has a specialized agency. इन्होंने proper एक independent agency बनाई हुई है that is known as United States Agency for International Development. So this agency administers civilian foreign aid and development assistance. तो ये बहुत अच्छे और और forward looking projects they carry out all over the globe, and they give money or they give technical support to carry out these projects. So this trees outside forest initiative is being administered, is being taken care of by USAID. Ministry of Environment and USAID have come together to drive this initiative. What will be the feature? Now where will the money come from? Obviously Ministry of Environment will put some money, USAID will put some money. बाकी पैसे कहाँ से आएंगे कि ट्रीज लगाने के लिए एंड ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज एलोकेट करने के लिए? कौन से ऐसे लोग होंगे जो पेड़ लगाएंगे? सो देर इज दिस कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दैट कम्स अंडर कंपनीज एक्ट. सो अंडर कॉर्पोरेट सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कंपनीज हैव टू गिव सम पार्ट ऑफ देयर प्रॉफिट्स to some avenues which benefit the society. So हम लोग private companies will be involved to carry out planting of trees in areas outside forest. So this program will bring together farmers, companies and private institutions in India to rapidly expand tree coverage outside of traditional forest by 28 lakh hectares. So it will use innovative financing models कि direct grants या donations नहीं, responsibilities of companies under CSR or whatever funds are there in other schemes, and leverage India's private sector to promote tree-based enterprises, helping to create sustainable markets and improve rural economies and livelihoods. So whatever trees will be planted and generated, ट्रीज़ के ऊपर भी काफ़ी इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज़ या इंडस्ट्रियल एक्टिविटीज़ डिपेंड करती हैं. सो सम स्मॉल स्केल इंटरप्राइजेज विल बी जनरेटेड आउट ऑफ द ट्री कवर दैट कम्स अप. इट विल बी द प्रोग्राम विल बी इम्प्लीमेंटेड इन 7 states. अभी सिर्फ 7 states के लिए लॉन्च किया है. एंड जस्ट चेक इफ द स्टेट दैट यू आर स्टेइंग इज़ वन ऑफ दीज. The first is Andhra Pradesh, the second is Assam, then there is Haryana, Odisha, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh. So these are the only 7 states on which this initiative will be applicable. The program will enhance what will having more trees benefit. अर्बन हीट आइलैंड इफेक्ट कम होगा, कार्बन सीक्वेस्ट्रेशन बढ़ेगा सॉइल का या आपके एनवायरनमेंट का. इट विल सपोर्ट लोकल कम्युनिटीज, मोर ट्रीज, मोर थिंग्स कैन बी जनरेटेड आउट ऑफ दोज ट्रीज एंड स्मॉल स्केल एंटरप्राइजेस कैन कम अप एंड स्ट्रेंथन द क्लाइमेट रेजिलियंस ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर विच इज़ द नीड ऑफ आवर. ग्लोबल वार्मिंग की वजह से हमारा जो हार्वेस्ट पीरियड है दैट हैज़ कम बैक अ फ्यू डेज बिफोर. पेस्ट के जिससे जो इन्फेस्टेशन होता है वो ग्लोबल वार्मिंग की वजह से देर आर मेनी पेस्ट कमिंग अप विच आर इम्यून टू द ट्रेडिशनल पेस्टिसाइड्स दैट वी वर यूजिंग. तो आपका क्लाइमेट रेजिलियंस एग्रीकल्चर के लिए बढ़ जाएगा. सो इट विल बेनिफिट ऑल पार्ट्स ऑफ सोसाइटी. नाउ देर आर 2 टॉपिक्स विद रिगार्ड्स टू चीता इंट्रोडक्शन एंड काराकाल and these are broad topics. Before taking them, ask any doubts if you have. Tanu, as such hard copy में नहीं मिलता है. You can go to our Telegram channel and download the PDF of current affairs, of weekly current affairs that we are doing here. The PDF will be available after a few minutes or within 1 hour when this video ends. So yes, if country is cutting a large amount of forest, so what happens is there are international commitments. आपकी climate change के लिए international commitment है. Paris climate change accord के under आपके COPs होते हैं on an annual level. So COPs are there and most countries are part of it. आपका जो UNFCCC convention है उसके according आपको अपनी climate policies बनानी होती है. So no country can do keep on cutting down forest and उस पर कोई international action ना लिया जाए. There cannot be any legal action on such country, but yes, it can be cornered, it can be sidelined, it can be coerced by other countries to not carry out such activities. All right. So the next point is about cheetah reintroduction in India. The next topic is about this. So 8 cheetahs have been brought from Africa or Namibia in Africa to Gwalior in India. Now they say that coexistence, not fortress conservation. Here is why India's cheetah experiment is unique. So recently what happened, अपने चीता को ट्रांसलोकेट किया है अफ्रीका से इंडिया में. ग्वालियर कूनो पालपुर वाइल्ड लाइफ सैंक्चुरी, कूनो पालपुर नेशनल पार्क है मध्य प्रदेश में. सो many cheetahs have been brought in from there. Now the fact about cheetah is that earlier in India we had the span of cheetah going from Jammu Kashmir to all parts of India. Central part of India तक चीता मिलता था हमें, but in 1947 the last cheetah in India got killed and we declared that cheetah is now extinct in India. So why is cheetah important? First of all, cheetah is the fastest animal on land, सबसे ज़्यादा तेज़ भागता है. Secondly, what happens is that it is also a flagship species of grasslands. If cheetah is there in a grassland area, for example, this is your protected area and cheetah is there, 2 cheetahs are there for example, and grasslands हैं आपके, कुछ forest है अगर. Alright, so cheetah will feed on what? Cheetah will hunt and it will feed on animals. For example, your deer is there. This is a deer and cheetah will obviously try to hunt this and feed on this. Now when this cheetah feeds on the deer, first of all what it is doing, it is controlling the population of deer. अगर ये चीता, ये दोनों चीता यहाँ पर हैं ही नहीं तो ये डियर जो है ये रिप्रोड्यूस करते जाएंगे. द पॉपुलेशन ऑफ डियर विल इंक्रीज इन दिस फॉरेस्ट और प्रोटेक्टेड एरिया. एंड इफ द पॉपुलेशन ऑफ डियर इंक्रीजेस, व्हाट दे विल फीड ऑन? दे विल फीड ऑन दिस ग्रीन ग्रास एंड हेंस व्हाट विल हैपन, आपके ग्रासलैंड्स खत्म हो जाएंगे. ग्रासलैंड्स खत्म हो जाएंगे, देयर विल बी मोर डेजर्टिफिकेशन हैपनिंग. दैट्स व्हाई चीता इज अ फ्लैगशिप species because it controls the population of herbivores. Herbivores की population को control करता है. Secondly, there are many scavengers. Scavengers होते हैं, कुछ ऐसे animals होते हैं. Not just scavengers, there are other dependent animals also. When this cheetah feeds on this deer for food, cheetah does not eat the entire deer. पूरे deer को मार कर वो खाता नहीं है. It leaves some of the deer behind. तो वो जो फ्लैश डियर का बचा होता है दैट सर्व्स एज अ फूड फॉर अदर एनिमल्स विच डू नॉट हंट. ऐसे बहुत सारे एनिमल्स होते हैं जो हंट नहीं करते बट दे आर कार्निवोर्स. दोज एनिमल्स आर ऑल्सो कार्निवोर्स. दे कैन नॉट हंट for their own food, but yes, a kind of a keystone species, Shreyas. But they cannot hunt, but for their food they depend upon dead and freshly hunted animals. So इस hunted deer के ऊपर ऐसे बहुत सारे छोटे छोटे एनिमल्स होंगे जो कि फीड करेंगे एंड जो कि इकोसिस्टम का बैलेंस मेंटेन करके रखेंगे. सो द बैलेंस ऑफ इकोसिस्टम स्टेज मेंटेन बिकॉज योर ऑल टाइप्स ऑफ स्पीशीज आर नाउ इन बैलेंस. चीताज आर ऑल्सो टेरिटोरियल. तो आपके एक फॉरेस्ट एरिया में ज़्यादा ब्रीडिंग नहीं होगी, ज़्यादा चीताज नहीं होंगे, कुछ ही चीताज होंगे. डियर की पॉपुलेशन कंट्रोल हो गई. द पॉपुलेशन ऑफ डियर इज नाउ इन कंट्रोल. एंड थर्डली देर आर मेनी स्कैवेंजर्स हु फीड ऑन डेड. देर आर मेनी अदर एनिमल्स हु फीड ऑन such hunted animals. So your grasslands, your forest, they can be protected this way. So having this keystone, your flagship species, aids the ecosystem of a particular area. Ecosystem से जो benefits हैं वो बढ़ जाते हैं. आपके environmental conditions of this particular area, they improve with time. So that's why introduction of cheetah, that has been a project that was in mind of government of India. Now we have leopards in India. हमारे पास leopards है. Leopards are spread all over the country. In Himalayan region we have snow leopards. Secondly, what we have Asiatic lion. Asiatic lion सिर्फ गुजरात में है. There are just around 600 to 700 Asiatic lions located only in Gujarat. Third is we have the Royal Bengal tiger. And now introduction of cheetah in this Kuno Palpur Wildlife Sanctuary has been attempted, as you can see here. So before shifting them here to Kuno Palpur National Park, a lot of areas were researched. There was this Shahagarh in Rajasthan that was tested. Africa से जहाँ से हमने cheetahs लाए हैं वहाँ से काफ़ी scientists आए थे, wildlife experts came here and they checked what are the other areas where cheetahs can be translocated. So Kuno Palpur was one of the area. The third one was Nora Dehi. For the longest possible time we thought that Nora Dehi would be the best location. Now Kuno Palpur Kuno Palpur National Park is of very much importance. Just look here. ये जो आपका एरिया है that touches somewhere Gujarat also, Rajasthan also. This is your grassland area. Grassland area in Gujarat we called it the Banni grasslands. And इधर गुजरात में here somewhere in Gujarat you have Asiatic lions. So the ecosystem or the environmental conditions that are available here are also available in Kuno Palpur National Park. So this national park is considered as a site जहाँ पर हम Asiatic lions को भी locate कर सकते हैं, transfer कर सकते हैं. Now why Asiatic lions have to be translocated? Because Asiatic lions all over the world are present only in one location, that is in India, that is in Gujarat, Gir Forest Reserve में, इस area में. So now what if some infection happens, like you have had the canine distemper virus a few years back, some floods come in, some other natural disasters come in, then we'll lose out on all the population of Asiatic lions. So the state government of Madhya Pradesh, they came out with this idea that let's transfer some of the Asiatic lions from Gujarat to Kuno Palpur, and this will be beneficial for the species also and for the community as a whole. So this project, this has been stalled for some time. Asiatic lion जो आपका transfer project था. Right now only reintroduction of cheetah project has been carried out. Now there are two species of cheetah that are present. In India we had, before extinction we had Asiatic cheetah. Obviously we are a country in Asia, so Asiatic cheetah. And in Africa we have the African cheetah. So our first attempt was to get Asiatic cheetah in India. African का हमने सोचा नहीं था बहुत पहले तक. So to get Asiatic cheetah is only present in Iran. There also it is critically endangered. So we had friendly arrangements with Iran for a very long time. So earlier it was decided that we will send some lions. Asiatic lions हम इंडिया से ईरान भेज देंगे और ईरान से चीता यहाँ ले आएंगे. Earlier it was decided to have this transfer of animals. That could not be successful. Then again in 2009 attempts were made to bring Asiatic cheetah to India. That also failed, and in 2012 Supreme Court just rejected the idea of reintroduction of cheetah in India. They say that you have Asiatic lion, you have Royal Bengal tiger, whatever species are in there, please protect them rather than pursuing these ambitious plans of reintroducing extinct animals like cheetah in India. So that was stalled, but the current government, it pushed forward. So now not Asiatic cheetahs, but now what we have translocated or reintroduced is African cheetahs. So Asiatic species nahi hum kar paye, but African cheetahs have been introduced. So it has come from South Africa. There are some features that you need to understand about this project cheetah or reintroduction of cheetah in India, that it is the world's first intercontinental large wild carnivore translocation project. वर्ल्ड्स फर्स्ट इंटरकॉन्टिनेंटल. आप उससे पहले इंटरकॉन्टिनेंट कभी इतना वाइल्ड कार्निवोर ट्रांसलोकेशन प्रोजेक्ट्स नहीं हुए. देयर हैव बीन एलिफेंट्स विच हैव बीन सेंट फ्रॉम वन प्लेस टू अनदर, बट वाइल्ड कार्निवोर्स कैन हैव नेवर बीन सेंट ऑन एन intercontinent basis. So they are coming from Africa to Asia. Here what we are taking is the coexistence approach, but before that I want to show you something, that it is the cheetahs are the oldest of the big cat species. Your big cat species can have tigers, lions and other species like that. So there are on a total level there are just 7,500 individuals globally of cheetah. जो आपका एशियाटिक चीता है, एशियाटिक चीता इज एक्सटिंक्ट इन इंडिया, इट विल रिमेन एक्सटिंक्ट बिकॉज व्हाट वी हैव नाउ गॉट इज अफ्रीकन चीता. एशियाटिक चीता प्रेजेंट इन सम पार्ट्स ऑफ ईरान इज क्रिटिकली एंडेंजर्ड, एंड जो आपका अफ्रीकन चीता है दैट कम्स अंडर IUCN रेड लिस्ट कैटेगरी ऑफ वल्नरेबल. बट ऑन द होल cheetahs have lost 90% of their global habitat. They now live in just 9% of its historic range. So as the forest cover decreases all over the world, global warming increases, and hunting activities of cheetah, they were very common. That's why their numbers have come down. उनकी range भी सिर्फ पहले से सिर्फ 9% रह गई है. So now what is the significance of coexistence approach? Kuno Palpur में coexistence approach लाई जा रही है. There are leopards also, there are some tigers also in Kuno Palpur National Park. So they say that the best way to reintroduce cheetah would be कि आप fence बना दीजिए, create a fence across the borders of this Kuno Palpur National Park and let cheetahs just stay here. इस एरिया में आप रहने दीजिए and have no other top carnivore there, because if a tiger is present here and a new cheetah is introduced, what this tiger will do? It will coerce this cheetah to go out. Force करेगा कि वो बाहर चला जाए and cheetah might not be able to survive. But after a lot of research, this coexistence approach was brought in, and social scientists say that it is good for the ecology, it is good for the animals and उनकी health के लिए, so that their predation activities are better, their predation capabilities are better, उसके लिए बहुत helpful है. So that's why coexistence approach has been taken, and they have also emphasized कि कोई anthropogenic threat नहीं है. There is no pollution, there is no human animal conflict that occurs here. So the 8 cheetahs which are being introduced here, they will be able to survive. About Kuno Palpur National Sanctuary, बहुत ही wide grasslands हैं इधर, so that's why it was converted from a wildlife sanctuary to status of a national park in 2018. so ज़्यादा protection है. It is again a part of Kathiawar Gate dry deciduous forest. African cheetahs, they are coming from savannas. Savanna आपके grasslands होते हैं, and here we have dry deciduous forest. इसलिए Asiatic lions को भी translocate करने की बात की जा रही है. It is underway to become India's second home for Asiatic lion. So what can be the significance of cheetah introduction? The significance or the benefit can be आपको ecosystem या आपके environment के लिए better हो सकता है. Secondly, your employment opportunities can be improved. If you have cheetah in India, then tourists from all over the world will come to see the big cat. चीता देखने के लिए लोग आएंगे. So wildlife tourism, wildlife sports, they can be improved and a lot of money can be generated, especially for the local communities. तो ये एक ecological benefit that we've studied. It is important for maintaining the health of ecosystem. आपके grasslands revive हो जाएंगे. The grasslands would revive, forest will revive due to introduction of cheetahs. Secondly, employment opportunities and ecotourism activities, they will be generated. Challenges, again, as I told you, there is tiger, there is leopard already staying in this area. So if cheetah is pushed out, agar wo fight back nahi kar pate, that is a big challenge. Secondly, Asiatic lion translocation project that has been stopped because cheetah is introduced now, तो वो delay हो चुका है. And to introduce Asiatic lions into this particular national park, 24 villages were translocated, 24 villages were rehabilitated. So अभी उनका काफ़ी issue आ रहा है. And that's all about cheetah reintroduction. If there are any doubts, let me know in the comment section. Tanu, we give PDFs on our Telegram channel on a daily basis. And monthly magazines, they are available for the prelims booster that happens in the morning on our channel, and for the Hindu discussion also. There are 2 PDFs that are shared every morning on our Telegram channel, Raj Malhotra IAS. So those unka monthly or weekly compilation is available. For this one, PDFs are available, and if you are a student, you can directly talk to me here at the campus. Alright, so let's move on towards Karakal. So Karakal, as the name indicates, or not just the name indicates, look at the picture. The picture indicates that Karakal is a cat. Cat है, काले कान होते हैं, black-eared cat, as you can see in the picture. That's why it is known as Karakal. Now, as this cat, as you can see, ये जो cat है, ये एक wild cat की species है. This is a wild cat. This is not a normal cat, domestic cat नहीं है, can't stay with humans. So they say that cheetah is being reintroduced in India on one hand. That was the best carnivore available in India for the longest possible time. Cheetah को hunting के लिए भी use करते थे. Second animal that was used for hunting, and that was the favorite animal that was used for hunting was this Karakal. Now this wild cat can hunt squirrels. गिलहरियाँ होती हैं, उनकी hunting कर सकता है. It can it can catch some flying birds also, अगर वो low areas में वो कर रही है. So it can hunt birds also, it can hunt squirrels also. But now its status is moving towards endangered. इसका जो span है बहुत कम रह गया है. As you can see, this area in grey, this was its habitat. इसका habitat इस area में होता था. Parts of Rajasthan, Pakistan, some parts of Punjab, some parts of Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, up to going some parts up to Telangana. So अब जो ये part है, ये काफ़ी सिर्फ red areas में रह गया है. And Rajasthan has the highest population of Karakal as of now. Other areas, only Gujarat has it except for Rajasthan. Other areas don't have much population. तो इसका 90% habitat loss हो चुका है. Karakal means, Kara means black and Kula means air. So it is taken from a Persian name. Ranthambore, जो आपका tiger reserve है, Ranthambore Wildlife Reserve, there you can see Karakal, and it has a long history of being trained as a game hunter by Indian nobles. जो आपके Indian kings होते थे, उनका favorite hunting animal होता था ये for the longest possible time. But now its conservation status is critically endangered in India. Least concerned worldwide but critically endangered in India. CITES के भी Appendix 1 में आता है, commercial trade of Karakal is not permitted without the concurrence of government. Commercial activities के लिए इसका inter-country trade is not permitted, and Wildlife Protection Act Schedule 1 के अंडर highest protection इसको मिला हुआ है. So it is, they say that as the cheetah returns to India, researchers map out most suitable areas for its coursing counterpart. They say that we also need to focus upon lesser carnivores, जो कि hunting animals हैं, but they were not very popular, they have not been protected. We need to focus on them also. So the Asiatic Karakal is an elusive medium-sized and locally threatened felid which has been widely reported to be at the brink of extinction in India. What can be the reasons? Reasons can be large scale hunting. Karakal की भी hunting की जाती है for meat and for fur purposes. Illegal trading, though it has been covered in CITES Appendix 1, still illegal trading has been carried out, जिसकी वजह से इसकी population कम हो रही है. Loss of natural habitat. If you go back to the map of natural habitats, obviously for a hunting species, forests are required. तो ये Chambal ravines में मिलता है. Chambal areas is comparatively greener in Rajasthan, if you can see here, as compared to the desert area. So natural habitat loss hai, and these are the significant threats that were there. So earlier it could be found in 13 Indian states, but now, as I told you, just parts of just Gujarat, Kutch and some parts of Madhya Pradesh. It has got long legs, short face, long canine teeth. It has distinctive ears that are long and pointed with tufts of black hair at their tips. So nocturnal animal hai, you can't use it in the day for carrying out hunting. It is used only at night. It is an elusive, primarily nocturnal animal. See, as you can see in the picture, it is carrying out hunting of some of the birds. Food habits, obviously it is a carnivore, it can catch birds in flight. So just imagine what kind of efficiency would caracal possess, because it can also catch birds in flight. Threats are again loss of habitat, Chambal ravines mein milta tha, they are degrading with time, and infrastructure projects, because deforestation is being carried out due to development of infrastructure projects. That's why it is coming up. There are some historical linkages. It was, they say that Firoz Shah Tughlaq had many of Karakal. उनके जो kingdom में बहुत सारे Karakal होते थे, and he used them for hunting activities. There is this Sadnama-e-Nigaran manual from Bundela Rajput princely state of Ajaygarh in central India that records that Karakal can be trained to hunt squirrels as well as birds such as kites, cranes and crows. So end of a trail notes that the sport of hunting of Karakals ended before World War II. So World War II से पहले ही इनकी जो population बहुत ज़्यादा dwindle करनी शुरू कर गई थी, and that's why it is important. India में critically endangered status आ गया है. That's why it is now important to protect such species. So this is the end of today's discussion. If there are any doubts, let me know, or you can just sign off. Alright, I'll see you with another discussion next Wednesday. Also watch Seize the Mains at 9 PM on our YouTube channel.